So up here we're going to compare long division and synthetic substitution. This is our new thing. So we've just shown long division where we're dividing by a binomial up here. Well, in synthetic substitution, instead of using the factor, you use the 0 or the root here, right, of 2. If I set that equal to 0, my answer would be 2. So you're using your zeros in here, or the roots or the intercepts instead of the factor. And other than that, you just remove the coefficients, you put them in order, and you divide. So we're going to show you how to do that down here. So if my factor is x minus 4, my root is 4. All right, and now I'm going to do what we did before with synthetic substitution. All we're going to do is we're going to put every number on here that is a coefficient down, and I think you're going to like how much faster this is than long division. One caveat, it only works when this is a first degree. So if I had like x squared plus 3x plus 7, you have to use long division. So but if it's just a first degree factor right here, something to the first power, then you can divide as much as you want. So we drop down and we put a 2. I multiply. 4 times 2 is 8. I add and I get a 1. I multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. I add and I get a negative 4. I multiply. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. I add and get a 1. And so what we have here is we have our answer. All right, and it wants us to write our answer in this form. So we could say, hey, you know what? P of x is equal to this factor times the quotient. I'm just writing what I see up here, plus the remainder. All right, our remainder is when I plug in this number right here. All right, so here's what we get. We get, and this is kind of a long way to do it, we got 2x cubed minus 7x squared minus 8x plus 17, right, is going to be equal to my answer, which is right here. So let's talk about the answer. This used to be a cubed, right? It used to be 2x cubed, but I've divided by a first degree factor. So my answer is all these coefficients, but all my exponents have been reduced by 1, and then I have my remainder over my divisor, which is what I'm going to write over here. So I got 2x squared plus x minus 4 plus 1 over x minus 4, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to circle that. I'm not going to write all of this next time. I'm just going to write this part on the next problem. So let's do another one here. All right. And our goal is to get through 2 more problems and then stop this video. All right. So here I go. I'm going to divide by the root of that, which is the 1/2. Kind of just change the sign. I'm going to list all my coefficients. All right. I've got a 4. Negative, oh, I need a 0 because I don't have a cube. See you guys. I got a negative 3. I've got a 7 and a 2. Know that I put that 0 in because I went from a 4th power to a 2nd power, so I needed a 3rd power in there. I drop down 4. I multiply. 1/2 of 4 is 2. I add. 0 and 2 are 2. I multiply. 1/2 of 2 is 1. I add. Negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2. I multiply. 1/2 of negative 2 is negative 1. I add. 7 times, or plus negative 1 is 6. I multiply. 1/2 of 6 is 3. And I add and get 5. So look, this used to be the 4th power. Everything's 1 lower now. I've got 4x cubed plus 2x squared minus 2x plus 6. I'm going to say plus 5 over what I divided by. In this case, x minus 1/2. That's what I have left. All right. Let's go ahead and go just a little bit further. All right. I'm going to do this one right here. So if that's my factor, I'm dividing by the root with synthetic division, so I divide by 2. and I make a list. It doesn't look like I'm missing anything. I've got my coefficient of my cubic, I've got my coefficient of my squared, I've my coefficient of my first degree, and my constant coefficient. We'll go through one more time. I drop down and get a 2. I multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. I add 9. I multiply, get 18. I add and get 17. I multiply. 2 times 17 is 34. I add and get 41. So here I'm going to write this answer. I write a little weird, but here it is. So that was a cube, now it's a squared. So it's 2x squared plus 9x plus 17 plus 41 over x minus 2. Alright, I want you to try this one. I'm going to circle it. Make sure there's none on the top of 5. There isn't. Now I'm going to pause this for today. Alright.